Hello, my beautiful friends, and welcome back to The Happy Elder. This is your cozy little corner on YouTube where we dive deep into living our very best lives after 60, full of health, joy, and that golden wisdom we've earned over the years. I'm so thrilled you're here today because we're about to have a heart-to-heart about something that can truly transform how you enjoy your golden years, your money habits. Specifically, we're diving into 6 bad spending habits to drop after 60. Now, don't worry. This isn't going to be a dry lecture about pinching pennies or cutting out all the fun. Think of this as a warm chat, like we're sitting together on a porch swing with a cup of coffee or tea, sharing stories and tips about how to make your money work for the vibrant, peaceful, and inspired life you deserve. Turning 60 is such a special milestone, isn't it? It's a time when life starts to shift in the most beautiful ways. Maybe you're retired, or you're thinking about retirement, dreaming of spending more time with your grandkids, picking up a new hobby like painting or gardening, or even planning that bucket list trip to Paris or the Grand Canyon. Here at the Happy Elder, we talk a lot about aging with grace, staying healthy, and finding joy in the everyday moments, whether the quiet morning walk, a heartfelt conversation with a friend, or just savoring a good book. But to live that longevity lifestyle we love, you need financial peace of mind. And sometimes that means letting go of habits that don't serve us anymore. Today, we're going to walk through 6 spending habits that might be quietly holding you back from the life you want to live. These are habits I've seen in my own life, in the lives of friends and family, and even in the stories you all share with me in the comments. By the end of this video, you'll have practical, actionable tips to take control of your finances, reduce stress, and free up money for the things that truly light up your heart. So, grab a notebook, your favorite drink, or just get comfy in your favorite chair, and let's dive in. Ready? Let's get started. Habit number 1, impulse buying without a plan. All right, let's kick things off with a habit I know we've all fallen into at one point or another. Impulse buying. Picture this. You're strolling through Target or browsing Amazon, and something catches your eye. Maybe it's a sleek new gadget, a cozy sweater in the perfect shade of blue, or one of those fancy kitchen appliances you swear you'll use to make gourmet meals every night. Before you know it, it's in your cart and you're telling yourself, I deserve this little treat, or this will make my life so much easier. Sound familiar? I'll bet it does. I've been there myself. Now, let me be clear. Treating yourself is a beautiful thing. You've worked hard your whole life, raised families, built careers, paid your dues, and you absolutely deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Whether it's a new pair of shoes or a gadget that makes your day a little brighter, there's nothing wrong with a little indulgence. But here's the catch. After 60, impulse buy without a plan can add up faster than you think, and can eat into the savings you need for things that really matter, like a dream vacation, unexpected medical bills, or just feeling secure in your retirement. Did you know that studies show Americans over 60 are spending more on non-essential items than ever before? According to a 2023 report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, older adults are shelling out significant chunks of their income on things like dining out, home decor, and gadgets, often without realizing how much it adds up. And it's not just about the money. It's about the stress that creeps in when you check your bank account and wonder, where did it all go? That stress can take away from the peaceful aging we're all striving for. Let me share a quick story. A dear friend of mine, Susan, retired at 62 and was so excited to start her new chapter. She loved shopping online, especially those late-night scrolling sessions on Amazon. One day, she showed me her latest purchase, a high-end blender she bought on a whim, because she saw a smoothie recipe online. The problem? She already had a perfectly good blender, and a month later, the new one was still in its box, collecting dust. When she looked at her credit card statement, she realized she spent over $1,000 that year on similar impulse buys, things she didn't need or barely used. That money could have gone toward a trip to visit her daughter across the country, something she'd been dreaming about. So, how do we break this habit? It's simpler than you might think, but it takes a little mindfulness. My favorite trick is the 24-hour rule. If you see something you want, don't buy it right away. Write it down, maybe in a notebook or on your phone, and give yourself 24 hours to think about it. Ask yourself, will this really add value to my life? Do I need it, or do I just want it in the moment? Sometimes, after a good night's sleep, you realize that shiny new thing isn't as necessary as you thought. Another tip: make a shopping list and stick to it like it's your best friend. Whether you're heading to the grocery store, a department store, or browsing online, having a list keeps you focused. If you're shopping online, try leaving items in your cart for a day or two. You'd be surprised how often you forget about them altogether. And here's one more idea. Set a small fun money budget each month for treats. Maybe it's $50 or $100. Whatever works for you. That way, you can still indulge without derailing your bigger financial goals. By being intentional with your spending, you're not just saving money. You're giving yourself the freedom to spend on what truly brings you joy, like a weekend getaway with your spouse, a special dinner with your grandkids, or even a new hobby that lights up your soul. That's what Age with Grace is all about, making choices that support the life you want to live. Habit number 2, keeping and use subscriptions. Okay, let's move on to something that's super sneaky and oh so easy to overlook. Subscriptions. You know what I'm talking about. Those monthly charges for streaming services, magazines, gym memberships, or even apps you signed up for years ago and forgot about. I'll raise my hand first and admit I've been guilty of this. A while back, I realized I was paying for a music streaming service I hadn't used in 2 years. It was just $9.99 a month. But over 2 years, that added up to nearly $240 for something I wasn't even enjoying. After 60, when many of us are living on a fixed income or relying on savings, those little charges can add up to hundreds or even thousands of dollars a year. A 2024 survey from CNET found that the average American spends over $200 a month on subscriptions, and a shocking amount of that is on services they barely use or don't use at all. That's money that could be going towards something meaningful, like a fitness class to keep you strong, a new pair of glasses, or even just padding your emergency fund for that peace of mind we talk about in our senior tips. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Tom. He's 67, retired, and loves his TV shows. When we were chatting one day, he mentioned how overwhelmed he felt by his cable bill. I asked him to pull up his bank statement, and we found he was paying for cable, Netflix, Hulu, a sports streaming service, and a premium news app. When I asked him what he actually watched, he laughed and said, mostly just Netflix and the local news. He was paying over $100 a month for services he didn't need. We sat down together, canceled the extras, and now he's saving enough to take his wife out for a nice dinner every month. So, how you tackle this habit? It's easier than you think, but it takes a little detective work. Set aside an afternoon, maybe a rainy Saturday, and grab your bank or credit card statements. Go through them line by line and highlight every subscription you're paying for. Think streaming services like Netflix or Hulu, magazines, gym memberships, even apps like that fancy meditation or recipe organizer you sign up for. Then ask yourself 2 questions. Have I used this in the last 3 months? And does it bring me joy or value? If the answer either is no, it's time to cancel. Most services make it pretty easy to unsubscribe these days, but if you're not sure how, check their website or call customer service. If you're worried about losing access to something you might want later, remember you can always resubscribe for a month or 2 when you need it, like signing up for a streaming service to binge a new show and then canceling when you're done. Another great tip: consider sharing subscriptions with family or friends. For example, you and your kids could split a family plan for a streaming service, or you could borrow a login from a friend for a service you only use occasionally. By cutting out and use subscriptions, you're not just saving money. You're simplifying your life, which is a huge part of what we talk about here on The Happy Elder. It's about creating space for what matters most, whether that's a hobby that keeps you active, a trip to see loved ones, or just the comfort of knowing your finances are under control. That's wisdom that matters in action. Habit number 3, overspending on adult children or grandkids. This next one might tug at your heartstrings a bit. Overspending on your adult children or grandkids. As parents and grandparents, we love to give, don't we? There's nothing like seeing the joy on your grandkids' faces when you surprise them with a new toy or take them out for ice cream. Or maybe it's helping your adult child with a car payment, a phone bill, or even a down payment for their first home. It feels so good to be there for them, to be the rock they can lean on. But here's the hard truth. After 60, overspending on others can put your own financial security at risk, and that's something none of us want. I know this one's tough. Saying no to your kids or grandkids feels like going against every instinct in your body. But constantly dipping into your savings to help out can leave you short when you need money for your own needs, like medical expenses, home repairs, or just maintaining the lifestyle you've worked so hard for. A 2023 study from the AARP found that nearly half of people over 60 provide financial support to their adult children, and for many, it's straining their retirement funds. That's not what we want for our retirement joy or our golden wisdom journey. Let me share a story about my friend Linda. She's 64, a retired teacher, and the proud grandma of 3 adorable kids. Linda loves spoiling her grandkids, new clothes, toys, even paying for their summer camp. But last year, she had an unexpected medical bill, and she realized her savings were much lower than she thought because she'd been giving so much to her family. It was a wake-up call. She felt torn. She didn't want to stop helping, but she also knew she needed to protect her own future. So, how do we find balance? It starts with being honest with yourself about what you can afford. Sit down and look at your budget, your income, savings, and expenses. Set a clear limit for how much you can give each month or year, whether it's for gifts, financial help, or family trips. For example, instead of giving cash for whatever comes up, you could offer to pay for something specific, like a month of groceries, a school fee, or a utility bill. That way, you're helping in a targeted way without draining your savings. Another idea? Focus on giving experiences rather than things. Instead of buying the grandkids the latest gaming console, take them to a local museum, a zoo, or even just spend a day baking cookies together. Those moments create memories that last longer than any toy, and they're often easier on your wallet. My favorite memory with my own grandkids is the time we spent a whole afternoon building a birdhouse in a backyard. It cost me less than $20 for supplies, and they still talk about it years later. It's also okay to set boundaries with your adult children. Have an open, loving conversation about what you can and can't do. You might say something like, "I love supporting you and I'll always be here, but I need to make sure I'm secure too." Most kids will understand, especially when you explain it with care and honesty. You could even help them brainstorm other ways to meet their needs, like finding community resources or budgeting tips. By setting limits, you're not just protecting your finances, you're modeling self-care and wisdom, which is what Senior Inspiration is all about. Habit number 4, neglecting to shop smart for big purchases. All right, let's move on to habit number 4, neglecting to shop smart for big purchases. After 60, you might be making some significant investments. Maybe a new car to make road trips more comfortable, a home renovation to add a ramp or better lighting for accessibility, or even medical equipment like a hearing aid, a mobility scooter, or a new mattress for better sleep. These purchases are important for your comfort, health, and independence, but they can also be budget busters if you don't approach them strategically. Here's what I mean. It's so easy to walk into a store or talk to a salesperson and go with the first option they show you. Maybe it's a shiny new SUV with all the bells and whistles, or the top-of-the-line version of a medical device, when a simpler model would do just fine. I've seen it happen. Friends who paid thousands more than they needed to because they didn't take the time to shop around or negotiate. A Consumer Reports study found that people who research and compare prices for big purchases like cars, appliances, or medical equipment can save 10 to 20% or more. That's thousands of dollars back in your pocket. Let me tell you about my cousin, Robert. He's 68 and decided last year to replace his old car. He went to the first dealership he found, fell in love with a fancy SUV, and signed the papers on the spot. Later, he found out he could have saved nearly $5,000 by shopping at a different dealership or waiting for a year-end sale. He still loves his car, but he wishes he'd taken a little more time to make a smarter choice. So, how do you shop smart? First, do your homework. Before you make any big purchase, spend some time online checking reviews, comparing prices, and looking for discounts. Websites like Consumer Reports, Kelley Blue Book for cars, or even Amazon reviews can give you a sense of what's worth your money. If you're buying something like a hearing aid or mobility device, talk to your doctor or a specialist to understand what features you actually need. Don't pay for extras you won't use. Second, don't be afraid to negotiate. I know negotiating can feel intimidating, but it's easier than you think. If you're not comfortable haggling, bring along a friend or family member who is. Even just saying, "Is this the best price you can offer?" can often get you a discount. And don't forget about senior discounts. Many retailers, from car dealerships to home improvement stores to medical suppliers, offer discounts for people over 60, but you often have to ask. Finally, time your purchases strategically. Big sales like Black Friday, Memorial Day, or end-of-year clearances are great times to buy big-ticket items. If you're patient, you can save hundreds or even thousands. By shopping smart, you're not just saving money. You're making sure you have the resources to keep living the healthy aging journey we talk about, whether it's staying mobile, comfortable, or independent in your own home. Okay, my wonderful friends, we're halfway through our list, and I hope you're finding these tips as helpful as I found them in my own life. Before we dive into the final 2 habits, can I ask for a little favor? If you're enjoying this video and finding value in our chat, please hit that like button. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who want to live their best lives after 60. And if you know someone who could use these tips, maybe a friend, a sibling, or even your neighbor, share this video with them. It's like giving them a warm hug from the happy elder. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell, so you never miss our weekly doses of wisdom, inspiration, and practical advice for aging with grace. All right, let's keep going. Habit number 5, ignoring small, recurring expenses. Next up, let's talk about a habit that's so easy to overlook. Ignoring small, recurring expenses. These are the little things we spend money on every day or week. Things like your morning coffee run, eating out a bit too often, or even paying full price for utilities when you could be saving. On their own, these expenses seem harmless. I mean, what's $5 for a latte or $15 for a quick lunch at your favorite cafe? But over time, these small costs can add up to a surprising amount, quietly draining your budget. Let's do a quick math exercise to put this in perspective. Say you spend $5 a day on coffee or a small treat. That's $35 a week, $150 a month, and over $1,800 a year. Over 10 years, that's $18,000. Enough for a dream vacation, a new car, or a hefty contribution to your savings. And it's not just food. Things like cable packages and used memberships, or even buying brand name products instead of generics can add up in the same way. A 2024 study from the National Retail Federation found that Americans over 60 spend an average of $2,000 a year on small, discretionary purchases they could easily cut back on. I'll share a personal example. A few years ago, I realized I was stopping at my local coffee shop almost every morning. It was my little ritual, chatting with a barista, sipping my latte, feeling like I was treating myself. But when I added it up, I was spending nearly $100 a month on coffee. I still love my coffee, so I invested in a good coffee maker and some quality beans. Now, I make my own lattes at home for a fraction of the cost, and I still treat myself to a coffee shop visit once a week as a special outing. It's a small change, but it's saved me hundreds of dollars a year. So, how do you tackle this habit? Start by tracking your small expenses for just 1 month. Use a notebook, a spreadsheet, or even a free app like Mint or Nab to jot down every little thing you spend money on. You might be shocked at how much those small purchases add up. Then, look for ways to cut back without feeling deprived. For example, if you love your daily coffee, try making it at home most days and save the coffee shop for a treat. If you eat out a lot, challenge yourself to cook at home a few more nights a week. Maybe try a new recipe to make it fun. Another great tip, review your regular bills like cable, internet, phone, or even your electric bill. Call your providers and ask about senior discounts or lower cost plans. I've had friends save $20 to $50 a month just by switching to a more basic cable package or bundling their internet and phone services. And when it comes to groceries, try store brands or shop at discount stores like Aldi, Costco, or Walmart. You can often get the same quality for less. These small changes can free up money for the things that really light up your life like a fitness class to keep you strong, a trip to see old friends, or even just the joy of knowing you're in control of your finances. That's what retirement joy is all about, spending on what matters most. Habit number 6, not planning for healthcare costs. Finally, let's talk about something that's absolutely critical for our healthy aging journey. Not planning for healthcare costs. As we get older, healthcare becomes a bigger part of our lives, whether it's routine checkups, medications, dental work, or unexpected medical needs. But one of the biggest mistakes I see is people underestimating how much healthcare will cost in retirement. According to a 2023 study from Fidelity, the average couple retiring at 65 will need about $315,000 for healthcare expenses alone, and that's after Medicare kicks in. That's a huge number, and it's easy to push it to the back of your mind, but planning ahead can make all the difference in your financial and emotional well-being. One common habit is assuming Medicare will cover everything. Don't get me wrong, Medicare is a lifesaver for so many of us, covering things like hospital stays, doctor visits, and some medications. But it doesn't cover everything. Things like dental care, vision, hearing aids, long-term care, or even some prescription drugs can come with hefty out-of-pocket costs. And even with Medicare, you'll still have premiums, copays, and deductibles that can add up. If you don't plan for these, you might find yourself dipping into savings or cutting back on things you love, like travel, hobbies, or even basic comforts. Let me share a story about my friend Margaret. She's 70 and thought she was set with Medicare when she retired. But last year, she needed a new pair of glasses and a hearing aid, and she was shocked to learn Medicare didn't cover either. She ended up spending over $2,000 out of pocket, which meant she had to cancel a trip she'd been planning to visit her sister. It was a tough lesson, but it inspired her to start planning better for future healthcare costs. So, what can you do to break this habit? First, educate yourself about what Medicare covers and what it doesn't. If you're not yet 65, start researching now so you're not caught off guard. Look into supplemental plans like Medigap or Medicare Advantage to help cover gaps in Medicare, like copays or dental care. These plans vary by state, so talk to a trusted insurance agent or check out resources like AARP or Medicare.gov to understand your options. Second, set aside a dedicated healthcare savings fund. If you're still working and eligible, consider a health savings account, HSA. HSAs let you save money tax-free for medical expenses, and you can use it in retirement for things like premiums or out-of-pocket costs. Even if you're not eligible for an HSA, start putting aside $50 or $100 a month in a separate savings account just for healthcare. Over time, that adds up and gives you a cushion for unexpected expenses. Finally, invest in your health now to save money later. I know we talk about this a lot on The Happy Elder, but it's so true. Taking care of your body today can prevent bigger medical bills down the road. Things like eating a balanced diet, staying active with walks or yoga, managing stress, and getting regular checkups can help you avoid costly conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or mobility issues. For example, keeping your blood pressure in check with diet and exercise might save you thousands in hospital bills or medications. By planning for health care, you're not just protecting your wallet. You're giving yourself the gift of peace of mind, which is what dementia awareness and senior inspiration are all about. Wow! We've covered so much today, haven't we? Let's take a moment to recap those 6 bad spending habits to drop after 60. Impulse buy without a plan, keeping in use subscriptions, overspending on adult children or grandkids, neglecting to shop smart for big purchases, ignoring small recurring expenses, and not planning for healthcare costs. Each of these habits might seem small on its own, but together, they can make a huge difference in your financial security and your ability to live the life you want. Here at The Happy Elder, we're all about aging with grace, living joyfully, and embracing the wisdom that comes with this beautiful season of life. Dropping these spending habits is a powerful step toward that longevity lifestyle we talk about, a life where you're free to focus on what brings you joy, whether it's traveling to new places, spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply feeling secure and at peace. And the best part? You don't have to make all these changes at once. Start with one small step today. Maybe it's canceling one subscription you don't use, setting a budget for gifts, or calling your internet provider to ask about a discount. Whatever it is, know that every step you take is a step toward a happier, healthier you. I want to share one last thought. When I think about what makes this stage of life so special, it's the freedom to choose how we live, how we spend our time, our energy, and yes, our money. By letting go of habits that don't serve us, we're not just saving dollars. We're creating space for things that light up our hearts, like a quiet evening with a good book, a laughter-filled day with family, or the confidence that comes from knowing you're prepared for future. That's what gratitude after 60 means to me, being thankful for the chance to live intentionally and fully. Thank you so much for joining me today, my beautiful friends. I love spending this time with you, and I'm so grateful for this happy elder community we're building together. If you found this video helpful, please give a big thumbs up. It means the world to our little channel. And if you know someone who could use these tips, maybe a friend, a sibling, or a neighbor, share this video with them. It's like sending them a warm hug from all of us. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our weekly doses of wisdom, inspiration, and practical advice for living your best life after 60. Until next time, keep shining, keep smiling, and keep aging with grace. I'll see you soon.